Hello there, and welcome to the Players Take, episode 6.
What was that?
The players. Hey man, I'm trying to change up the openings a little. I'm testing some stuff out. So welcome to the Players Take, episode 6. Players Take is our weekly podcast where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. This week we're going to be doing a little bit of a truncated show, I suppose. We're not really doing a topic of the show this week, so we're going to swap some things around. We're probably going to do the game list before the news so that we kind of end on the news. That's what I wanted to go with, so let's get started. So, let's start with what we've been playing, and I'll go first this time. Not much, only 3 things. I played about an hour and a half of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I played this on Monday before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out.
What made you decide to play that?
I don't know. I mean, I told you I liked the game. I wanted to play it some more. It's funny though because I played it before Tuesday on Monday, and I was just, dude, I wasn't feeling it, man. I started playing it and I played for like an hour and I was like, fuck, I don't want to play this game. It's weird because I was so into it, and it just like my motivation to play just went out the window. It was super weird.
It was that Kingdom Hearts, man.
I think it was anticipation for Kingdom Hearts. I don't think I'm gonna feel that way next time I play, but it was really weird because I played through a couple camps and I started to figure the combat out actually, like kind of how my timing was and how I should dodge and then attack. Yeah, because I'm playing with daggers, like 2 daggers. That's kind of my primary weapon of choice in the game so far. And there's like a lunge attack when you do a heavy attack. Yeah. So I kind of figured out how to dodge enemies and then lunge right back in and hit them like immediately, like right after the dodge. Okay. And you do a heavy attack and you lunge. So I kind of figured that out, and it's like it's almost trivializing the combat, dude. Like I started destroying things. Like I was wrecking elites, and like, dude, I killed like 3 or 4 bounty hunters that were higher level than me. Really? And I mean, it took a while. It was like a battle of attrition, but it was once I figured out the dodging thing and the lunging, it was really easy after that. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to play it some more, but we'll see. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is out now, and I don't know. I also played a little bit more Shining Force 2. Don't have any more real thoughts on that. Just continuing to like it. And then we'll talk about Kingdom Hearts 3, which I've been playing. Yes, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that last. So what else? What have you been playing?
Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously. Still trying to climb the cancerous ladder of League. Yep. And their new ranking system like totally fucking me up.
Really?
Yeah, I got.
Did they change it?
Yeah. So what they did was, I don't know if I said it last week, but they have positions for, you have placements for each position now. Yeah. So instead, say like you primarily a support. So you primarily play support. So your secondary role, I don't know what your secondary role you pick is, ADC, right? In League, rather.
Oh, you talking about me? Yeah. No, I've been playing bot lane.
Okay, so you play ADC.
I was playing bot lane and support, but I hadn't actually played a support yet.
Yeah, you haven't played support yet. So let's say you start out with ADC and your placements, and you get placed in gold tier. Yeah. So they'll try, your secondary one will be a little bit under that, so you'll probably be a silver tier in like in support or whatever. Okay, yeah. And then if you want to just one day randomly decide to go to top lane, you'll have to do 10 more placements, and they'll give you a top lane ranking. Really? So they got. I like it because it's like,
so you have separate ranks. I mean, I guess it makes sense because those are very different skill sets. Exactly. For the most part. Some of them have some overlap, but Dota's similar. I feel like your hard carry position 1 in Dota is a hard farmer. Yeah. They generally don't join team fights early in the game. Like, they're just focused on killing as many fucking creeps as possible. Yeah, exactly. That's their job, right? And then later in the game, hopefully they've farmed enough and gotten enough kills in some of the team fights they do participate in that they can steamroll and kind of like get snowballed. Yeah. Position 2 is like your mid, so you know, they're focused on killing creeps, but they're kind of your heavy team fighter, where you want them kind of being the point of attack. They're the ones who do them
like a lot of sort of like the initiators and stuff.
Sort of. They're the kind of the ones that make you. They will. They're the ones kind of can have the most impact in the middle of a team fight. Gotcha. You know, like they're not necessarily like a tank initiator or anything like that, but they're the ones that they're going to be doing the most damage probably in your early team fights. Yeah. And then your position 3, they're probably your initiator. Actually, they're your offlaner. So,
so that's your tank.
These 3 are all considered quote cores in Dota, but they're all very different in how like the characters you play and the style you play. So it's probably the same kind of thing with League, right?
Yeah, like your top laner is usually your tanky one. Your mid laner is usually your mage. They usually have like a mage position that can do a lot of AoE hits and stuff like that. Your support obviously is the person that kind of supports the bottom laner who is your farmer. And your jungler is kind of like an all around support for everyone. At least that's what they changed it to this patch, because they didn't want the jungles to be the carries anymore, because the jungler was really powerful. If you were really good at it, you can carry the whole game from the jungle. So they kind of changed it to a more supportive role, where you just kind of support everyone's lane, the stuff like that.
Did they change the characters then?
No, they just changed the way you get XP.
So they made it harder for you to level and stuff. Okay,
so you have to go into lane to get like a little bit more XP. You have to gank a little.
I kind of like that actually, though. I think that's smart because
right now it's a toss up on like the community. Community is really torn between how they have jungle right now. Some people are saying it's terrible. Some people's like, it kind of prevents early ganking. And
dude, I don't like the way jungle was in League though when we were playing, because you're almost like separated from the game. Like you're in your own little bubble, kind of. Like there's a little meta game to it, and whether you go into the enemy jungle and zone out the enemy's jungle and stuff. But I really didn't like. I've never been big on the jungle. I don't like it in Dota either, because there aren't that many characters that do it. But you're like separated from the team almost. You're not expected to team fight until you hit level 6, really, because you're kind of useless until that point for the most part.
There's a lot of champions that do have early ganking abilities, like how you guys got ganked at bot lane by this guy, that Pantheon guy.
Yeah,
he's like a level 2 ganker. That's what he's supposed to do. But I like the changes they did to the ranking system. And then another game I've been playing was Resident Evil 2 Remake. I'm playing that with my girlfriend, which is surprising to me. I didn't think she'll like that game, but she actually loves it because she made a connection. I didn't make the connection. If you guys ever did the escape room type deals, Resident Evil was like that. You saw puzzles sometime to get to another level, or not another level, but another room or something of that nature. And Resident Evil 2 and the Resident Evil games in general, before they went really action on 5, they really had those puzzle elements inside the games that shook up the mess of zombies that you fought, and you had to do puzzles and stuff. There were some of them like really challenging. You had to think about it. So Resident Evil 2 is no different. It still has that over-the-shoulder camera that Resident Evil 4 did. It doesn't have the tank controls. It's really good.
Yeah, it's like a third-person action game.
It's a third-person action game, but they really amped up the survival horror elements of it.
Yeah, I heard like there's like ammo scarcity and stuff, and it's like really, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if you played Dead Space. Have you played Dead Space before?
No, but I know. I've watched plenty of videos of it.
When I play that game, I feel like I'm playing Dead Space, which is ironic because Dead Space got their calling from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, so for sure. Well, yeah, I might check it out. As I told you, I got it on PC, so I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. It does look really cool. It seems like they really did a good fucking job with this.
They did a really good job, and now, I mean, I recommend it to anybody who even likes horror.
I mean, I've never played a Resident Evil. I'm not super into horror games. However, Dead Space is one that really appealed to me.
Okay.
The way that game is, where you're kind of locked into a single location for the whole game, is like a really cool concept to me. And I think that this Resident Evil is pretty similar to that. So
I recommend it. If you haven't played any Resident Evils, you will still pick up the story as soon as you jump into it. It's not convoluted or heavy, but the voice acting is really good, and it's a really solid game.
Okay, so we've also both been playing Kingdom Hearts 3. So, disclaimer, we're going to go into spoilers. Like, I'm not... Some of the things we have to say, I don't feel like we can really hold back. I mean...
You want to wait for that after the news, or you want to do it now?
We could make it a sort of topic of the show, I guess, if you want to.
I mean, it's up to you.
That's fine. Okay, fine. We'll do that. Okay, we're not going to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. So let's jump into. We're going to jump into the list of games right now. This is what's releasing this week. So we'll just get right into it. Some 3 Nintendo Selects games: Star Fox 64 3D on 3DS, Majora's Mask 3D on 3DS, Super Mario Maker on 3DS. Now these basically are Nintendo's. These are like their price is getting permanently reduced for these games. Okay. Their retail price is $20 now. That's a permanent thing. That's what Nintendo Selects is.
Okay,
generally.
I was wondering.
These are games. I think they sold a certain amount, and Nintendo puts them in here, and then they get a price drop generally.
Gotcha.
So continuing on, Magic Nations for Nintendo Switch, Etrian Odyssey Nexus for 3DS, and 3DS... What?
So many indie games.
I don't know what that is. The Nexus of Modus on Nintendo Switch, The Book of Unwritten Tales 2 on Nintendo Switch, Astroneer on PC, Away, Journey to the Unexpected on Nintendo Switch, Evo Land Legendary Edition on Nintendo Switch, Solstice Chronicles MIA on Nintendo Switch, The Stillness of the Wind on Nintendo Switch, Reverie Suite as Edition on Nintendo Switch, Pocket Academy on Nintendo Switch, Percy's Predicament on Nintendo Switch, Mercury Race on Nintendo Switch, Blaze Blue Central Fiction Special Edition on Nintendo Switch, Yokai Watch 3 on 3DS, God Eater 3 on PS4 and PC, Oniken Unstoppable Edition on Nintendo Switch, Dallas, the Dark Call on Nintendo Switch, Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 2 on Nintendo Switch. Hell yeah. City of Brass on Nintendo Switch. So that's it for this week. Anything jumping out to you there?
Probably the Blaze Blue, but that's
Blaze
probably
Blue.
It, yeah.
I recommend Majora's Mask and Star Fox 64. Probably.
Yeah, if you guys can buy like 4 copies of Star Fox 64,
please
let
do.
Nintendo know that you want another Star Fox game.
Yokai Watch 3, that's actually kind of a big one.
Isn't that like a gacha game?
No. This is like that. It's sort of like Pokemon, but it's like more. You've never seen Yokai Watch?
I've seen it. I heard people talk about it, but I just never played it.
It's hard to describe. It's kind of like Pokemon because you collect like monsters that are different, and I think they evolve and stuff, and they have this is like a whole leveling system in the game. I've always wanted to check one out. I don't like they're big games, just like Pokemon, so they're time consuming. Like I really do want to try one though, because I've seen a couple of YouTubers play them, and the game does look cool. They do look like cool games. So and obviously, I think the 4th one's actually coming out soon in Japan. So we're really far behind on the translations for these. We're like a full game behind on them. Also, this does remind me, you didn't mention in the games you played what happened to My Little Riding Champion, dude.
I forgot to buy it.
You motherfucker. I sent you the PSN store link.
I forgot to buy it.
Look, man. I really wanted to hear your thoughts about this game, okay?
I'm pretty sure it was going to be
I started looking into it, and my God, does this look like a terrible game.
It looks like a 10 out of 10 to me.
I want to... Oh my God. I feel like we almost need to split on it and just play it together. Like, I just want to, like... This feels like a fun, like, co-op game to just, like, play together and make fun of. Yeah. But, man... Look.
Another game that was kind of sticking out to me was that God Eater 3.
Yeah.
I like the anime.
Is that new, or is this a remake of some sort, or is this like a new one?
I don't know. I just know when the PSP came out, or PS Vita came out, that was like the substitute for Monster Hunter. A lot of people were like
that one and Soul Sacrifice.
Right,
those two. Yeah.
And I never really. I mean, I like Soul Sacrifice a lot, but as far as God Eater, it was kind of anime-ish.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And I didn't like it too much.
It's interesting that they've made 3 though.
Yeah, I mean
this one's on PS4 too.
Yeah, apparently it's still it's like really popular. Not as popular as Monster Hunter, but it's really popular. It has a cult following.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so moving on to the news. This was announced on Monday. This was actually announced a few weeks ago, but they didn't really say anything about it. They just gave us like a title for it. But this was announced at a Dragon Ball Fighter Z tournament. Namco is making a Dragon Ball. It's called Dragon Ball Game Project Z Action RPG. I don't know why it's called that.
So I heard it's a remake of like the Nintendo RPG that came, like a Nintendo. It's like an old Nintendo game, and it was an RPG. It was an action RPG.
No, I haven't heard that. I thought this was a new project.
Yeah, I heard it was a remake. Like they were like fully remaking it though. Yeah.
Well, so the thing is, they didn't give us any gameplay. They didn't show us any gameplay. It's all cinematics. The game looks pretty good.
It actually does.
Graphically, it looks pretty good. It looks like it's stretching pretty far into DBZ lore. It looks like it's going through the very beginning, the Saiyan saga. It looks like the Frieza saga. And I don't know if they showed anything of the Cell Saga or not, but
I think they did.
I think they did, right?
I think it ends in the Cell Saga.
Okay, so yeah, we might not get Boo, but I mean
nobody
that's
really
still
cares about that
still that's a lot of game though. If we get all that and it's like a full on RPG.
Budokai did it first.
You got any feelings on this? You excited about it? It's supposed to be coming out this year. I mean, I want to see gameplay.
I just think. I mean, okay. Here I go being cynical.
Oh boy.
Do we need another Dragon Ball Z game?
No, fuck you. No, fuck you. Fuck this. No.
They're milking this shit, bro.
Okay, they are. They are. A lot of people are saying that, and I agree. They are milking. They're milking the fuck out of Dragon Ball right now. It's popular.
How is it gonna work as an action RPG though?
There's ways they could do it. However, the thing is, we get a lot of fighting games out of Dragon Ball Z, and I'm tired of it. Okay, this is a rich.
This is a fighting anime.
This is a rich universe, though, and you can do a lot with it. Some of my favorite Dragon Ball games are stupid fucking handheld games. You know, like, did you ever play the ones on GBA?
Yeah, I thought that was a remake of these.
Oh. No, that was like a card battler or something, dude.
Oh no, it was like a GBA game or a Game Boy Color game where you flew around. It was an action RPG game, though. I know that for sure.
Oh, there was one on 3DS. Fusions. Are you thinking about Fusions?
Maybe it was Fusions.
Because that I don't think that's what this is.
Okay.
But no, dude, some of my favorite Dragon Ball games are like those shitty handheld games that aren't fighters at all, like weird like card battlers and things like that.
I wanted a fighting game.
I'm interested in this because like an action RPG. I mean, dude, it could just be like Xenoverse with statistics and leveling and stuff, like Dragon Ball Budokai 3, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. You know how they did the leveling in that game? You could do that in this game, where you have like stats that you pump your points into.
But we have those games already.
You know, the weird part about it is like loot. How do you do loot? Like, is Goku gonna get a superpowered gi and like Saiyan armor and shit?
But you know who's making this, right?
It's Namco, isn't it?
I thought Square Enix was behind it.
No.
I heard Square Enix was behind it. That's what I heard.
No, it says CyberConnect 2.
Okay.
No, these are the guys that Square fired for the fucking
Final Fantasy VII
remake, yeah. So this is what they've been working on apparently since then.
So, yep, that crushes my dreams to get another Doc Hack game.
No, I'm interested in this. I want to see, as I said, I want to see gameplay. The fact that they didn't show us gameplay is actually kind of concerning because we gotta talk about video game trailers because they drive me up a fucking wall with this. Where they do all these flashy things. They show you like Call of Duty does this all the time, and Bethesda does it with Fallout. They did it this past year with Fallout 76.
Oh my god!
Where they have these commercials, these live action commercials, and they don't show the game. They don't show the game. They show no gameplay. Zero gameplay. And that's supposed to somehow make me want to buy the game? Apparently it works on people, but come on, people. Like, pay attention. Don't get hyped because they're doing some live action commercial that has nothing to do with the game.
I don't like live action commercials.
Stupid.
Actually, you know what? The last live action commercial that I really liked was Halo ODST's live action commercial.
Yeah. I don't remember that one.
Oh, yeah, that one showed them.
But Sony does these stupid, cute little live-action commercials where they're like, oh, yeah, we've got all these characters.
Halo's live-action commercials are really fucking good. Those are the only ones I allow because they're really fucking good.
Well, I don't remember them, but... the ones I loved was like, dude, you remember... we talked about this, the Smash one for the original Smash Bros. Yeah. That commercial is amazing. It's got a stupid live action element to it where they get these dumb mascots, these people in these mascot costumes, and they're just punching each other like they look dumb. But then they show the game at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, they do.
And they gave a release date. It's like, that's how you do it. You know, that's all I need.
I think they did that too with Zelda too.
Yeah, show me a little bit of gameplay to get me interested. If all you're going to show me is a live action trailer that's not even going to show anything in the game, like the trailer itself's not going to be in the game. What? I don't care.
I don't know what to expect from this because, like I said,
no, I don't either.
If CyberConnect does make really good action RPGs, they
did the Naruto games, right? Some of the Naruto games.
Those are like fighting games, though. The Ninja Storm games. Those
they did the Shippuden like Ninja Storm games, right?
Yeah, they did. But like going back to their RPG roots, they did the Dot Hack games. So, I mean, maybe this will get them back to Dot Hack. Maybe we can finally convince them to make a Dot Hack HD remake.
They look like they're taking contracts from other companies, so they probably can't fund their own stuff.
Yeah,
at the moment.
Oh my god!
So I don't know.
That company was so good.
Who knows?
How much money they made from the Shippuden Ninja Storm? That shit should have made tons of money.
There's too many of them. They made too many of them. There's like I bought like one. And I was like, oh, this is kind of okay. And then like 4 more came out, and I was like, I don't.
The second one was the best because they had a lot.
That was the one I bought.
Yeah, that was the best one.
That was the one I bought. Yeah. It had the largest roster, right?
It had the largest roster, and it had the best cinematics.
It had the largest range of the story too, right?
Yeah,
it showed part 1 and part 2 stuff.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else about this.
Fair enough.
Game.
Let's move on. We've got another story about
also
the
cuts
Epic
the price by $10. I didn't see that part.
Game Store. Stop interrupting me when I'm reading the stories.
Shut up.
So Steam has lost another game to the Epic Game Store, and this game is Metro Exodus.
Hey, I gotta admit that you were right.
It's becoming a PC exclusive to the Epic Game Store, and they're cutting the price by $10. Valve gave a little response that I'm going to read now.
This is unfair.
Notice. Later today, sales of Metro Exodus will be discontinued on Steam due to a publisher decision to make the game exclusive to another PC store. They can't even say the name of the store. It's so funny. The developer and publisher have assured us that all prior sales of the game on Steam will be fulfilled on Steam, and Steam owners will be able to access the game and any future updates or DLC through Steam. We think the decision to remove the game is unfair to Steam customers, especially after a long pre-sale period. We apologize to Steam customers that were expecting it to be available for sale through the February 15th release date, but we were only recently informed of the decision and given limited time to let everyone know.
Okay, so I try to approach this from both sides. And I do remember the only gripe I have with this, first of all, I love that Steam is getting some heat brought to them. They under Steam now.
I told you. I told you this needed to happen.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Now this is a small thing. I do not feel like downloading another fucking client on my PC.
No, a lot of people don't. Particularly a client that, from what I've read, a lot of people's opinion of is not good.
It's not.
Is that I haven't looked into it myself because I don't want to open that. I don't want to install that fucking thing. But a lot of people don't like it. They think it's a really bad interface. They think it's poorly implemented. And it's also bad in the sense that exclusivity, it's like, this is a worse form. Like, exclusivity for consoles is different because the consoles tend to make those games themselves. Like, the console manufacturers tend to make those games themselves. However, there are console exclusives that aren't made by those developers. Like, Persona is a good example. Nier Automata was an exclusive. The Tomb Raider games were exclusive, or one of them, Tomb Raider, the second one was exclusive to Xbox for a year.
Yep.
And those are the ones that I feel like are in the same realm as this, where they're not good for anybody, really. Like, those kind of exclusives, it's like, this isn't good for the consumer. This is what I was talking about with the Epic Store, right? If they're going to get traction, like, this is their way to get people in the door, but I think a lot of people don't even want to go in the door. Like, I don't know. This is really risky for the Metro developers because
I think they're getting like a huge pay bonus. Like,
they have to be. Yeah, no, Epic's got to be paying them big time to do this.
They have the money because
yeah, Fortnite, yeah, 100%. But I think from the consumer perspective, we don't want this. I don't want this war to break out where we start getting exclusives on both sides of this. You know, it's like,
and it's on the same console. That's like,
and it's on PC. Yeah, right. It's like Sony having two different stores, and you have two different versions of the store on PS4, and one gets certain games, and the other
have the PS Pro store.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And I don't love this. And Valve's response is cute. Like, I love it's so unfair. Like, fuck you guys, dude. Like, come on.
Valve,
you've had so much time to make your store better to the point. You've taken advantage of people forever, you know, and it's you're getting your comeuppance now, you know. So it's from their perspective, they should stop whining and do something about this, because that to me, they need to react. Like, they have to make a move, and whether that is increasing the share developers get from games sold on Steam or doing something else, whether it's making the platform better or more usable or proving or giving developers money in their own way, whatever it is, they need to make a move, you know.
I think they should have counter-offered. I honestly think they should have like, hey, listen, like, we'll counter-offer you anything.
I just don't think the exclusivity, though, is good.
I don't think so
I don't
either.
want that.
But I understand why, like, coming from a business side, I understand why Epic's doing it. They need to break into the market. So
100%.
They need to, like I said last week, shake the table.
So No, I agree with you. I think from Epic's point of view, it makes sense. They need. This is really the only way. This is probably the best way for them and the quickest way for them to get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
But I think what the publishers probably need to do is, I think it's in their best interest to do both, to release on both. Because even if they get a huge lump sum of money from Epic for Metro, I mean, I think this is going to really hurt the sales on PC.
I mean, I think
Division 2 is going to be in the same boat.
Yeah, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the praise that Metro got was from the PC community, because a lot of PC people played this game.
Yeah. Dude, this has not been a particularly popular game on consoles.
Yeah,
from what I know.
I didn't buy it until people were like, "Hey, man, you should play. I played it on PC. You got to get on console." Then it finally came over to console, and I played it.
Yeah,
and I loved it. So I am going to buy it first day when it comes out, but I'm buying it on like Xbox One.
Yeah, I'm not interested in it. So.
I'm not about to buy it on PC.
Yeah,
because I honestly, when I did have the launcher for Epic. And this is when I played Paragon. So this was like, maybe a year ago, before they closed Paragon down. I didn't like the launcher. Like, it looked cool when you open it up, but it was a small launcher. But
but back then it wasn't built to sell other games.
Yeah, so I don't know what it looks like now. So I mean, people could be over exaggerating, because these same people might be like, "Oh, Steam is the best," but Steam's launcher is trash. In my opinion, it takes up too much. CPU, and everything.
It's got a lot going on.
Yeah,
it's also ridden with advertisements. And,
oh my god,
yeah. It's not my favorite store. So I'm happy there's competition happening. I hope this doesn't turn into an exclusive war though.
I think it is. I mean, because you already, like you said, you already got Ubisoft.
It's just gonna fracture the market.
Ubisoft's going to Epic, right? Oh no, they're doing their own client.
No, they have their own client already, but they're doing Epic. They're doing the Epic Store for Division 2.
Yeah,
they're not doing it for Far Cry. Apparently, New Dawn that's coming out next month.
Yeah, I just don't think that's a good look. I mean, I understand why Epic's doing what they're doing, like I said, but I just don't think it's a good look.
I think for the publishers, it's not a good look.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're not taking the customers into account.
If it was like for indie games, I can probably understand.
Yeah, and there are a lot of indie games that are going exclusive to one or the other.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't think they're as affected by it. Yeah, it's like they're not going to lose chunks of their sales because they're going from one to the other. I mean, it might matter to them more because their money is a lot. The volume of money they're making is a lot less, so it could matter to them more. But
I think Epic is trying to like maybe get rid of Steam. Like people are like, okay, I'm just going to delete Steam off my computer. But Steam it's too deep into the culture.
That's impossible. Yeah. I have so many games on Steam. I'm never going to delete Steam. Yeah. I have like 90 games on my Steam account. Yeah. I'm never going to delete it.
And that's from like the good old Steam sale game.
Even if I never buy games on Steam again from this day forward, I will probably still have Steam on my PC.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like the whole fact that I gotta download another fucking client.
I agree.
So.
Yeah, you were making the analogy earlier that this is like the streaming wars with television with like Netflix, Hulu, and then CBS.
Exactly,
Like I don't want it to turn into that, because that is a very good analogy. Because that is driving me nuts. And then we're getting the Disney one. Like I don't want that to happen with games too. But I feel like we could be going in that direction, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, at least the clients are free, but
much as we're talking about streaming games too, that's going around. Like, I mean,
that's one trend I hope. I mean, okay, I guess I understand it, but I hope it never really catches on. To be honest,
it will. It's going to. Yeah. It's gonna, because the money talks, dude. If you could save a person, if you can give person access to a huge library of current games for $15 a month, I mean, sign me up, right? Because if I'm buying 2 new games a month, I mean, you're saving me $100,
Damn, but that would be devastating for, like, game developers, though.
Potentially. Depends on how... Yeah, it could be.
Shit, that's not good.
But, anyways, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, all right.
That's not even a thing that's happening yet, so... so
everybody listen to this is like,
rub their hands as together. I said, we're gonna keep monitoring this story. I mean, this is a thing. This is not going away anytime soon. So, all right, third story we have is Anthem. So Anthem had a VIP demo weekend this past weekend. They're having a free demo weekend this weekend. I myself am planning on checking it out. I think you are as well, right?
Yeah, I'm going to download it tonight and play it tomorrow.
I already have it downloaded, so I think I may spin it up today or tomorrow. But the VIP demo weekend was kind of a disaster.
Terrible.
It was. There were tons of videos, articles, all sorts of stuff. of this game was people couldn't get online. They couldn't, even when they did get online, they were getting infinite loading screens.
Enemies were like disappearing.
Enemies were disappearing. They weren't firing at people. It was just a mess, total mess. So
Commander Shepard died for this game.
What are you feeling about this game, man? I know we're planning on checking it out. What are your expectations?
Man, I honestly, I did the Kingdom Hearts 3D with this game, and I went silent with it.
Yeah, me too.
So this is like the first thing I heard about the game. I am scared. I'm hoping like this is just their way to test their servers and things of that nature. I mean, I'm glad they're calling it a demo and not a beta.
Yeah.
But
this was more like a beta almost. I mean, people paid money to get into this VIP demo. You know, you have to pre-order. You have to pre-order the game to get access to that.
Stop pre-ordering. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is not the fault of like BioWare and EA. We know what they're going to do with pre-orders now. Like all of us as gamers know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Yet people still do it. This is why I'm on the anti pre-order campaign. I'm not pre-ordering nothing.
Yeah.
Like I got it for free. I didn't pay nothing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I just think if you're going to offer a service, though, for people who pay money for it, it should be better than this.
100%. But then there's a lesson to those people, too. I'm mad at both sides. Both sides learned a lesson. Both sides learned a fucking lesson.
Fair enough. But what about the game? What are your feelings on the game? Did you watch any gameplay?
I watched a little bit, and it looks fun.
Because I watched some gameplay.
It looks fun, but it looks like it can get boring real quick.
Yeah, I was not...
You were impressed, yeah.
Nah, dude, I was watching it, and I'm like, man, the more I see this game, the more uninterested I get. I feel like in this demo weekend coming up, like, this is really going to determine if I actually play this game or not.
They need to have, in this demo, like, some kind of makeshift raid you can do or something.
Yeah,
like,
some kind of end game, because there's no PvP in this game.
Okay, I mean, I don't really care about that. I don't play these games for PvP.
Yeah, but it's something. I mean, I played a lot of PvP in Destiny. So.
Yeah, I mean that game's kind of built around. I don't want to say built around it, but they kind of like
the mechanics fit it better.
Yeah. But this game, like, I don't really care if there's any PvP, but there better be a shit ton of PvE stuff, and I don't mean public.
But the
events.
missions, but the thing is, the missions look really repetitive. So it's like if there's a shitload of really repetitive missions, then I don't know if that's gonna keep me hooked.
That's the problem with loot shooters, though. How do you fix that mission structure? Like, go here, shoot this, boom, boom.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing is, you need to have more single player stuff, more things you can do by yourself. That's how you differentiate the gameplay, is that you have little puzzles people can do, like hidden things people can go find, like collectibles and stuff, and little landmarks people can go find that are hidden that you have to like kind of go to. Like this game would be perfect for that because you can fly around. Like you have like little landmarks at the top of mountains and shit that you can go find, and caves that you can go in and stuff. That's kind of where the fun part of it comes in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they showed at that E3 demo, right? Is like you have these like interactive events happening where this giant like primate like entity is like attacking wildlife and gets in your way, and you can either fight it or you can ignore it. That doesn't seem to be like that's a thing that actually happens in this game, though.
Yeah,
you know, so
I like I was thinking like this, and then we can, after I make this point, we can like move on, I guess. But because I don't want to get stuck on it, but like. I played Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 6 had a huge co-op thing going on with it. So, in certain parts of the game, you'll get separated from your partner in the game. And you'll be playing single player.
Yeah.
If you're playing single player by yourself, just like on your regular Xbox or whatever, or your PS3, at certain sections of the game, or if you're doing co-op, like 2v2, because sometimes it was 3 sets of people you can play, 3 stories, and there was 2 people for each story. Sometime, if I was playing like Leon and Claire, that's not the person that you're playing with, but just say if you're playing Leon and Claire, and like me and my girlfriend playing Leon and Claire, and there was another person, Chris and Jill, on the other side doing like a story mission that coincides with that mission. Yeah, like it will match make you with those people like seamlessly, and you will play that section with each other. Do that part, and then like go off in your separate ways. You know what I'm saying? So if I was like, if I was putting Birth by Sleep terms, like I'll be playing Ventus, and then you'll be playing Aqua. The part that we come with each other, we come in, we do that little section with each other, then we go our separate ways for the story's sake. You know?
Yeah.
So like maybe games like this in Destiny should do something like that, where I'm playing a mission, just single player or whatever, and then you get to a part where it's like, oh, it looks like we're going to need 2 other javelins to come in, and then it just so happens to match and make 2 other people who are playing that same mission come in and help me with that part, and then go out.
So you would have to initiate something though to get people to join you, like an SOS flare, or you're saying that a game would automatically pair you with people?
While we're playing, it's automatically looking for people, and if we couldn't find people, it would be like an NPC that would control the other team. You know.
Well, so this kind of goes with my idea too of fleshing the world out. Is I think these games sometimes get a little bit too focused on the missions.
Yes.
Is that all you're doing is the missions, and that's the only way to get loot. Yeah, that doesn't make a fun MMO. You know,
but remember, they're not MMOs according to Bungie.
Whatever, dude. I don't know. God, I hate these. I hate the way developers talk about their games sometimes. But you know, the thing with it is like a fun MMO has multiple ways to get loot. Yeah, like a good one, right? Multiple ways to kind of get progression or achieve progression. Yeah. You know, where there's been, you know, like the landmark thing, right? Like there was this one called Rift that did that, where there were puzzles in every zone that when you did the puzzle, it gave you a chest that gave you like an epic piece of gear of your level.
Oh, okay.
You know? And that was a good way to get some gear at the higher levels, you know? And I think you need to have things like that. You need the world to be rich, right? Like you want a world that's livable or that's lived in and feels like is alive, and you want to explore it, right? Yeah. And then that would enable you to do what you're talking about, where you have these like little activities that you can join people in, you know? Yeah. Like say there's a cave that you go in and you don't know what's in there. There's no mission in there, but there's stuff in there. There's chests. There's like maybe a puzzle or some kind of thing you have to find, like a piece of lore or something like that gives you experience, or maybe gives you an item or something like that.
Yeah, you know
little things like that make it exciting to explore.
And that's why Elder Scrolls, in my opinion, is doing so well right now, because what you're saying, Elder Scrolls does that. I can run into a cave, and you're not even in my same party, and you run into a cave with me. We can explore that cave with each other and do loot missions and stuff like that.
And dude, like I think the Division actually did this pretty well too. There was a lot of exploration in that game. Like exploring New York in the Division was fun.
Oh yeah,
because there was there was so much in there. There was so much to find. Collectibles,
there was so much like side lore.
There was just chests everywhere. Yeah. Like, you would just run into areas where there's just a bunch of elites, and there's, like, a named enemy that drops, like, a really good piece of gear. But he's not tied to a mission, though.
Exactly.
He's just wandering around. He just has, like, a base. Like, this is his base of operations with his crew or whatever.
Exactly. You can, like, matchmake to... You can, like, hey, I need some help. Or you can just do it by yourself.
And then the Dark Zone had, like, a really ramped-up version of that, where you would go in and everything's pretty much elite, but you would run into other people, and you could join together and fight stuff. I mean, sometimes people would be assholes and help you kill something, and then they'd kill you and take your loot.
But that's fun.
But that's part of the experience, right? So they actually tried to do some different things, and that's why I like The Division versus some of these other games. Yeah. I think a lot of these other games get stuck in, like, they think that these games, these loot-driven games, is like, it's like World of Warcraft, where you're just doing instance after instance after instance. It's all about dungeons, and raids, and dungeons. What made
World of Warcraft so good was the world.
That's what I'm saying, and World of Warcraft became bad when it stopped being about the world. Yeah. Because that's what happened after, like, 3 or 4 expansions. The game's world became not important anymore. You would just queue for things and instantly teleport to them.
Exactly.
You know, there was no traveling anymore or anything like that. So that's what makes an MMO good, and I think that's what these games, as much as the developers don't want to admit they're MMOs, that's pretty much what they are. They're light MMOs.
Yeah.
They don't have as much of a deep the character customization is not as deep. The gameplay may not be as deep, but I mean, these are shooters, so they're kind of different in that regard.
Well,
but
I'm trying to look at it from a different perspective. Yeah. Some people are like, especially coming from an MMO side, some people are like, well, I don't want to have to fly all the way over to the other side of Azeroth just to fucking play this dungeon, or I don't want to have to do that. I know a lot of my friends, my main friends, they did like the dungeon queue in 4 or Final Fantasy 14 rather, because it was kind of designed like that. They really didn't have, like, there are certain missions that lead you to that dungeon queue, but you have to queue up for it.
But dude, that game is a prime example though of, do you feel like that world is fun to walk around in?
Not particularly, no.
No, that's what I'm saying, because once you introduce the dungeon queue kind of thing, exploration goes out the window because you're not walking anywhere. Yeah. You're not traveling anywhere. So the game just becomes a queue. You're just queuing. Like, just why do I even have a character? Why is there even a world then? Just give me menus.
Yeah.
Like Destiny was, right? Like Destiny, you probably spent more time in the atmosphere looking at your ship, queuing for things like late game than you did actually running around areas. You know?
Yeah, I mean...
And I don't consider that fun. I mean, maybe some people do because they think it's...
No, they don't consider... I mean, a lot of people don't consider it fun, but a lot of people don't want to wait. They don't want to have to work for that. So it's like a give or take.
That's what games are, dude. Like, okay, fine, play Destiny then. Like, that's what games are. That's the whole point of an RPG, is that you spend time to get more powerful. You spend time to experience things to get more powerful. That's kind of the point of an RPG. So when you take that out of the RPG... I mean, what do you have? You just have a game where you're just running and shooting things. Like,
yeah, that's why I feel really scared for other MMOs. If they were to become popular and come out,
yeah,
they would do they would be streamlined where like, oh, we got a dungeon queue. Oh, we got this.
This is why the MMO genre is dead.
Yeah,
because of what we're talking about. Everybody started making the World of Warcraft dungeon queue simulator, and those games aren't fun because there's no depth to them, because you don't experience anything. You just go into a queue, you kill a bunch of enemies, you kill a boss, and that's the end of it. And then you queue for the next dungeon.
Yeah, not only that, but the mission structure is kind of like, go here.
It's very vanilla.
Yeah, kill 5 things, and then come back to this guy and tell him that you killed those 5 things.
And then he's going to send you to the next settlement to do the same thing. Now like, you kill 10 things.
There's no...
There's no creativity with the mission structure either, so... You can do interesting things with these missions. Maybe you have missions where you don't fight anything, you know, where you're just running around like trying to gather herbs or gather like plant life or something, or animals, or you're like chasing an animal, or maybe you do stealth missions. You know, like these games never have stealth missions. Like maybe you have stealth missions where you
where you can't get caught.
Your whole squad has to not get caught, not just you. You know, like things like that.
And that's what. That's why Destiny early game is so vastly different from the late game.
Yeah,
because the raids had sections of it where none of your people can get caught.
Yeah,
you had to coordinate stuff.
Yeah,
and that's why it was so different. But like you said, the game doesn't teach you that. Like if I was to queue up for a raid, or actually you can't queue up for a raid, but if I wanted to get into a raid, I would have to go out and look for that, which is cool. And all. But like for a casual player, like how you get all this powerful gear,
dude,
like you're not telling me to go for a raid.
Well, so this is the perfect example, right? Is Destiny's raid system is a perfect example, because they didn't let you queue for it for a long time. I think you can now in Destiny 2.
You can?
Oh yeah, they started implementing it when it was launched. Like they had like a little beta for queuing for raids.
Oh, that's if a clan wants you.
Yes, they'll like mentor you or whatever, but. In the original Destiny, you couldn't queue for raids. So this is like a perfect example of what we're talking about. Where you design a game, and the whole game, you can queue for dungeons. The entire game, the entirety of the game you play.
Yeah.
And then the final 5% of the game, you can't queue for it anymore. You have to go make friends and talk to people, and like, you didn't have to do that for 95% of the game. So how do you do that?
Exactly.
You're just throwing people into and the game doesn't even give you a way to do that, because there's no chat in the game, and you can't trade with people. There's no way to really interact with people. So guess what? People just made their own websites. Like that's not good game design, in my opinion. Like that is bad game design, where people have to go outside of your game to figure out how to play your game.
So I think the issue for game developers, and I understand that point, and I'm going to bring up another counter argument to that.
Yeah.
So I think the issue with that is, which is, like I said, kind of both of our faults, the developer's fault and the player's fault, but this is more so on the player's fault. The social aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because to make a game like that where you do want to train your player base to be like, hey, make friends.
Totally.
Or make acquaintances to do these strikes. So let's say they didn't have a queue for strikes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to talk to someone. I would probably instantly get called the N-word, or if I was a woman, I'll probably like, I'd be called some some stuff.
Yeah.
So like, my question is, how do we combat like idiocracy in these games where I don't know if I use the right word, but how do we combat that to where we want to be social? Because I know a lot of players like myself, I do want to be social, but I understand why it's not social.
No, I'm the same way. I stopped playing MMOs because I'm tired of interacting with people online. I understand why games are designed this way because I think a lot of us feel this way, that we're tired of it.
Yeah.
But if you want to truly transcend an experience in a multiplayer game, interaction's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Like World of Warcraft, the reason World of Warcraft was huge is because it was fun to play with other people.
Yeah.
Like it was a social game. That was my best experiences in World of Warcraft were when I was in a guild playing with other people
me too,
and interacting with other people where I had friends and like I would log on every night and we would hang out every night, you know? So I think that's something that we have to kind of... The game has to facilitate it better.
Yeah.
When you just throw 4 people together randomly, yeah, you're going to get shitty experiences like that where somebody, you know, calls you the N-word or starts being mean to women or disgusting or gross to women because there's no repercussions, first of all. So you need a reporting system. Second, they'll never see you again. So some people love, like, when they're in situations like that, they turn into a-holes because there's no way for that ever to get traced back to them. So, you know, that's what happened with World of Warcraft, where you have cross-realm dungeon queues. You can't even blacklist the person on your server because they're not on your server.
Ah, gotcha.
You know, it's because in World of Warcraft, when you dungeon with an a-hole or somebody who would ninja loot or something like that, people would go into like Stormwind or Ironforge or Orgrimmar and be like, "Hey, so and so is a ninja looter. Do not do dungeons with this person," and people would put them on like a blacklist. You know, like in you know, obviously that's the players facilitating something like that themselves, but I don't feel like it's hard for games to do things like that, you know?
But I feel like, just to piggyback off what you said, like, I feel like if we are going to have like a social game like Anthem or something like that, we don't need the queues. We need more social interaction, but we need to actually build a backbone to that. Like, we need to, like, if I'm with you and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for somebody, I already have a partner, me and Justin, and someone just comes over and starts saying shit to me, of course you're going to say something about it. We need as a player base to start sticking up for each other.
100%.
If I'm playing with a woman, if I'm playing with one of my female friends or something of that nature, and someone says something derogatory, I have to stick up for it and everything like that. You're not white knighting. You're just being like, hey, this is a community. This is a game, bro.
Yeah, we're all trying to have fun here. Like, why are you trying to ruin this for everybody?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So I feel like, like you said, it's on both sides. The developers need to do something about it, but the players also need to step up and not be like, understand that there are going to be a-holes, just like in real life. You can't block a-holes in real life, but you can on this game. And you're going to have to be like, okay, he's an a-hole, block.
Yeah,
boom,
exactly. You have a block. Most games have a block function. And also, going back to what you were talking about earlier, how you can design the game differently, you can design the game in a way where people are encouraged to go to the same areas.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be near each other and going to be like, hey, I need a group for this. Like, who wants to do this with me? You know, and then like 2 other people will be like, oh, yeah, I'll do it with you. And then there you go. You've made a group, you know?
Yeah, because let's be honest, right now, a lot of people have party chats and voice chats or party chats on where they're not able to just talk out into the world, which would be cool, but they're not
like proximity chat.
Yeah, proximity chat would be really cool, but unfortunately that's kind of, a lot of games do have it, but that's like
and a lot of people just turn it off or whatever.
It's undermined because, like I said, we get a-holes just screaming on mic all the time. Like,
like PUBG, we get that all the time, right? Like where you do,
we had to turn it off,
dude. Yeah, if you turn proximity chat on in PUBG, it's just a nightmare where you're in the plane and people are just screaming profanities the whole time,
or playing like Russian music or something like that.
So it's a deep conversation. I think it matters for this genre, though.
Yeah,
I really think it does because it changes the experience.
I think we need to have I think not just us in general, but I think the community needs to have this conversation as far as making games more accessible and more socially acceptable for people.
Yeah.
And getting rid of the assholes. Like, you can't be an asshole in this game, bro. Like, you can't just do it.
Yeah,
like,
why do we put up with them?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, stop putting up with them.
Why do we give into it? Why do we, I don't know, like, fence it? Like, we kind of fence our games.
I understand it because I've done it before, too, where somebody's being an asshole and you kind of just mute the game and you're like, I just want to have fun. I don't want to deal with this guy right now.
Yeah, but you're muting the whole experience because of one guy. You know
exactly. You're letting that guy ruin the experience for you when you do that. And I think in terms of this genre, as I said, I think The Division is one game that really does try to encourage people to be around each other.
I did talk to random people.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and in the Dark Zone in particular, like you're gonna run into a-holes who are gonna betray you, but that's like part of the tension of it, and that's why that area is fun. So, going back to Anthem specifically, I want to check it out and see what it has in regard to this entire conversation. You know, how does it play with all this stuff? Are there queues? I assume there are, but how does exploration in the world when you're not in a mission go? Can you explore the world when you're not in a mission? I don't know, but we'll find out. I guess.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. So
we should convince Jet because he has a PS4, right?
He does.
Yeah,
he's not going to do it.
I'm watching.
He's not going to do it, man.
You should convince him.
He's not going to do it. Anyways, moving on. We'll have more thoughts on Anthem next week, since, as we said, we're going to play the demo this weekend. So I'll definitely have some thoughts on it. Okay, last story of the day. Sony patent hints PS5 could support backwards compatibility. This was something that came out today. I really don't care about the story in this instance. This is really kind of an excuse to talk about PS5.
Yeah.
This is kind of just speculation. There's really no concrete details with this. Like, this isn't a guarantee of anything, this story. But backwards compatibility is kind of a hot button topic, I feel like, for PS5. And for me in particular, I mean, what do you think? Do you think PS5 needs to have backwards compatibility?
It needs to have backwards
Do
compatibility.
you think it will?
Knowing Sony, they're probably like, you can get PS now. Like,
they're going to put it on PS4 and be like, you can play PS4 for backwards compatibility.
Yeah, I feel like Sony's head's so up in the clouds right now that they're not even considering it.
Yeah.
I feel like when the Xbox 2 comes out, Xbox will be like, hey, you know, we have backwards compatibility with our Xbox One and our Xbox 360 games. Because they're backwatered right now. They're in deep shit. But PS5, PlayStation in general, I just don't think they're going to bat an eye to it. They may do it, but like I said, it may be in the form of like streaming.
I think they're going to do it.
Okay.
I think they're going to do it. I almost think they have to do it because, dude, I don't know why for about 10 years this became a topic where people are like, man, we don't need backwards compatibility. That's not a thing we need. We could just go play our old consoles. Like, people were saying that for PS3 and PS4. I'm like,
they were saying that?
Yeah, man. There's plenty of people that like that were defending Sony for not having backwards compatibility or taking backwards compatibility out of the PS3 console, when it was in the original incarnation of it. People were defending that decision. Like, no, that was just money grubbing, straight up. There's no defense for that. They literally were like, oh, we can sell you digital versions of the games for $10, you know, instead of letting you use your disc copy that you own. You know, that's why they did that back then. But when PS4 came out and it didn't have backwards compatibility, that was a huge reason why I didn't buy it for a year. Because I had a shitload of PS3 games I was still playing that I wanted to play, and I can't play them on PS4. So
a lot of people don't feel like, I mean, I'm a collector. I like to collect the hardware, but a lot of people don't like collecting hardware. They want to get rid of the old tech as soon as the new tech comes out.
That's a true thing,
and
too.
That's a valid...
Well, it allows you to trade your game console in for the new one, right?
Yeah.
Like, when PS5 comes out, say it's backwards compatible with PS4, I can trade my PS4 in.
Yeah.
And put it towards a PS5, and I'm going to buy a PS5.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. If it has full backwards compatibility with PS4, I'm in. Day one. I'm buying it day one.
And
like,
you can go back and play games that you haven't played before.
Yeah, I don't have to trade any of my games in.
Yeah.
I'll trade my console in, and that's it, you know? So I think this is something I do feel like they need to have it because Xbox is going to have it.
They need to have it,
and I appreciate Microsoft for really doing this generation.
Yeah,
and kind of pushing Sony to meet them with
that
this.
Actually sold a lot of units when they came out with that.
Yeah.
People were like, hey, I'm about to buy me an Xbox.
I don't really care for their back catalog that much, but it's a pro-consumer move.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not selling anything when they put backwards compatibility in. They're enriching their console experience by doing this.
Exactly.
They're not getting any monetary value out of it directly. It's kind of an abstract thing, but they're enriching their experience and giving people a reason to buy their console.
So
right?
One thing that I do hope that the PS5 does, I hope it just goes games first. Like,
yeah.
I hope it doesn't do the media thing like Xbox did and then PS3 did before that.
It'll be interesting to see that.
Because, you know, when PS3 did that, PS2 was ahead of the game, and they're like, you know, let's try to do this media.
Stuff goes in cycles, man.
Yeah, and then 360 was, at the end, it wasn't at the beginning, at the head, but it was like everyone had a 360 at that point.
For most of that generation, yeah, they were ahead.
And They were like, hey, let's just go TV, sports. Like, for EA and, like, Call of Duty.
Was that like an Australian accent or something? Sports!
That's what the EA guy sounded like.
Really?
Yeah. TV, sports. But anyway, yeah, like, I hope PS5 doesn't do that, but something tells me Sony's going to press that button. They're going to shake the table again. I don't know.
Again. Their silence is interesting right now. The fact that they're not going to E3 is interesting. I mean, obviously, we're speculating. We don't know what they're going to do.
E3 is going to be so bland this year.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It could be more exciting. It could mean, like, Microsoft's saying they're going to go deeper for it. So, we'll see. We'll see on that front. But in terms of other features, I mean, what about streaming? Do you think streaming is going to be a thing on this thing?
Oh, 100%.
You think so? Like, It's going to be part of the box?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're probably going to have some kind of exclusive deal with Netflix or Hulu. Like,
no. I'm talking game streaming.
Oh, game
like
streaming.
You were talking. Yeah. Because
I don't think. I just don't think the infrastructure is there for streaming. But yeah, they may have.
I mean, they're already doing it now. But you think they're going to push it more? Where they might have like a SKU that's streaming only, like it's like a $200 SKU or $150 SKU that's stream only, that can't play discs.
Really? Oh man.
You think? Well, that's what I'm asking you. You think that might be a thing?
No, I hope not.
I mean, dude, it's possible.
I hope not.
It's possible.
That's terrible if it is.
I mean, dude, Microsoft tried to go online only with a console that came out in 2013. Like, I mean, this 6 years. This is going to be 7 years later when these things come out. You know.
Oh man, that can be really bad.
Well, I mean, it would only be one SKU. There'd be a normal SKU that's, the regular that plays discs. Well, okay. What about on that front of multiple SKUs? Do you think there might be a modular element to the console? Do you think we could have a Pro versus regular version situation like we have the PS4 now?
Yeah.
You think we'll have that?
I think that's going to
be from the get-go?
I think that's going to be a new trend.
You think that'll be you think that'll be on release day? There'll be two SKUs, like one's more powerful than the other?
No. Well, maybe because we're doing it now.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that it's working. Yeah. There may be like a premium version.
I bought a Pro.
Yeah.
You were thinking about it.
I was thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there may be a premium version of the game or of the console, and they may consider that the premium version of the console.
Yeah.
Because before you get the premium version of a console, like they had the Xbox 360 and the Xbox Elite, but the only difference was one was a terabyte and one was 500 gigs.
Okay.
And I believe that was the main difference.
Didn't they have the arcade version, though, that was like 100 and...
Oh, yeah, it came with like 100 games already pre-installed.
Or something
in it.
like that.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah. And then the original Xbox 360 did not have wireless capabilities. So the Xbox Elite, that one had a wireless card in it. Okay. So I do remember that.
Okay. There's precedence for this. I mean, we've seen it before. But...
Yeah. I don't think I think the new thing is going to be they released the first model, and then 2 years later it's going to be an upgraded model.
Okay, so you think we're going to get like iterative consoles?
Yeah, I think that's.
I could see that. I can see that. I mean, it's...
I think they learned their lesson from this generation. They learned a lot of stuff from this generation. First, not to fuck with gamers. And then...
yeah, we're the ones who buy your shit.
Yeah.
God.
Not to fuck us over for your shareholders. And then two, that we will pay for an upgrade. Console players will pay for an upgrade.
Yeah.
And
if it's worth it.
If it's worth it.
Yeah.
I don't think the PS4...
I agree. Pro, having it now, I'm not sure it's worth it.
It's not worth it, but I think that Xbox One X... That's a hell of an upgrade.
Yeah.
So
okay, fair enough. Any other thoughts on PS5 right now? We'll probably get. We're going to go more in depth into this as we get closer to it. But
I think they should have more. I know probably me and you are on different sides of the fence for this, but I think they should have more options for music on there. Like
what do you mean?
Some games
like being able to set your own soundtracks and stuff.
Yeah, like some
that'd
games,
be cool. That was the thing. That's the thing on Xbox, isn't it?
Not anymore.
Really?
It used to be.
Why did they take that away?
I don't know, but
that
I used to love that shit.
Because, dude, that's a cool feature. I don't know why they wouldn't do
certain games, like when I'm playing certain strategy games or... Because I used to play Halo Wars on the 360.
Or grindy games, right? If I could, like, load a podcast on my PS4 or something, that'd be cool, right? Yeah, that should be something you should be able to. That'd be cool. That is something that's lacking for sure, is your ability to... Because I remember that was a big selling point of the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Was that you could, like, make your own playlists and soundtracks and stuff on there.
I loved it. I was playing, like, what's this game? Infinite Undiscovery, which is an action RPG game.
Yeah.
Japanese action RPG game. So during the grindy parts of the game, I just put on one of my soundtracks and I can zone out to it. Yeah. Now I will say the 360, or not 360, but the Xbox One has like the dual screen mode. Okay. Where you can put like a little screen up while you're playing your game. I don't like what it does to my screen. Yeah. But if you want to have like YouTube running with a podcast in the corner, you can do that. Okay. So that's pretty cool. But I would like for it to be running in the background, like how you can do your phone or something like that.
Yeah, with like Bluetooth headphones now, dude, like you could go throughout your entire house or apartment or whatever, and you're just listening to music on your console. You know, it's like,
that's another thing too. Maybe Bluetooth capabilities with different products besides the controllers. Like maybe you have Bluetooth speakers where I can use that as an extra speaker to have like a true surround sound feeling. Yeah, like have a built all in one. But that's just Now I'm getting way ahead of myself. That's
you're getting into like peripherals, man.
Yeah, that's like a shit. That's like a actual media center. I don't want to go down that road because they're like, well, that's what the Xbox One was. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So let's not go all the way down that road.
That could be like a down the road thing. Yeah. All right, fair enough. All right, so that's it for the news. So I guess our topic of the show is gonna be our thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3. So we've both been playing it this week. I'm about 10 hours in.
I'm about 10 hours in.
You're about 10 hours in as well. No, you're a little further than that.
No, I'm about 10 hours in.
Because you've done a whole full world compared to me.
You haven't done the full world yet?
No, I did the prologue world, then I did the second little world, and then I've done the third, like where you get to pick two. Yeah. I've done the first one, pretty much. I'm like right at the end of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I did Tangle already, so you did the opposite of me. You went to Toy box first, and then you're going to Tangle. Okay,
well, hold on. You spoilers. Don't spoil things. All right, fair enough. Okay. All right, let me just preface this by saying we're gonna get into spoilers. We're gonna talk about things that happen in the story. We're gonna talk about characters. We're gonna talk about worlds.
10 hours into the game.
If you care about any of that, turn the podcast off. Cause
thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. See you next week because we're not talking about anything else this week. So, okay, fair enough. With that said, let's get into it. What do you feel about the game so far?
All right, so I'm gonna do you know what? I'm just gonna talk about the good. Graphics are phenomenal. I like how fast Sora can move on ground.
Yep.
I saw some people complain about the graphics, saying it looks like PS2-ish, and I don't think so. I think it looks really good.
What?
Yeah,
what are they talking about?
Bro, I don't know what these people are talking about.
Some of these haters, dude, are so desperate. Like it looks like a PS2. Fucking get out of here, dude.
Or they're like, oh, it's not the graphics I was expecting. Like, I don't know what you're expecting.
What did you think it was going to look like? Call of Duty?
I like the worlds, how big the worlds are. I actually feel like I'm exploring the world, especially on Olympus. You're always concealed to that Coliseum part. Yeah. But now, like, I feel like it's a full-fledged world.
I'm going to be honest.
I'm talking about the good first.
I can't help it, man.
So I do. Okay, fine. Another thing I do like about it is the worlds have people in them.
That's true. That's true. That is something that was like, what? Yeah. Dude, like when we went to Twilight Town, which is the second place you go, there's like tons of people just walking around talking to each other too.
It's
like
cool.
They actually have dialogue. Like it feels like a real town now. It's cool. It's like, it is cool. I like that.
Even in Olympus, you save like some
you save citizens. Random citizens. Which I do think is cool. I agree with you.
Yeah. So
is that it for the good? Is that it for the good? Is that all you have to say that's good? No, you were saying earlier the gummy ship stuff.
The gummy ship is really good.
I agree with that.
I like the iteration of the gummy ship.
I like what they did with the gummy ship. It's because the gummy ship was always annoying before. It was like a really shitty version of Star Fox. Yeah, it was a really terrible version of Star Fox. They kind of made it like open world. I don't want to like say it that way. I'm so tired of that goddamn phrase. It's open world, but it's open. Like you can explore and you can kind of go through and you can go anywhere. Like you're not stuck on rails.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You can fly towards certain destinations and you can make your own ship like you always could. But I like what they did with it. It's not super in depth, which I think is good.
The voice acting is better.
That's true as well.
The voice acting is a lot better, especially with Disney Worlds.
I will say Hercules' voice actor was really phoning it in.
Yes.
Like, he did not seem like he wanted to do anything. That whole world was...
We'll
get into it. We're talking about the good. We're talking about the good, Montrell. We're talking about the good. We're talking about the good.
Tangled's world... was really the voice acting and the banter between Flynn and Rapunzel was really, I liked it a lot. Yeah, because I never seen the movie, so to me it was like really cool. Even on Toy Story's world, like I really felt like the voice actors sounded like Tom Hanks and
So did they not? Because I feel like for Woody, whoever's doing Woody, if that isn't,
he sounds just like
if that isn't Tom Hanks. That dude is amazing because he sounds exactly like Tom Hanks. The guy doing Buzz,
he kind of nails it for Tim Allen for me.
But he's stiff, man. He sounds pretty stiff.
Yeah, he does.
I can kind of tell that it's not him. He does a good job. He has the voice inflection. Yeah, like he has that right and the pitch and everything right. But you can just tell he doesn't have the same tone. I think that Buzz had, because Buzz was a little bit more like, dude, like. This is my biggest complaint with the Toy Story world so far is Buzz is really subdued and mad. Like, he's just, like, angry the whole time. It's weird. And he's, like, he doesn't trust anybody, and he's just, like... Yeah, like, he's... he's the one that convinces Woody to trust people because Woody didn't trust him, right? Yeah. Like, I don't... Like, it's a little weird. I don't... And I think his charisma is not there. Because Buzz is a really charismatic character.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, in the movies. So
especially when he becomes like he finally realizes like he's a toy. You saw in the second movie, he's like really into the toy thing.
Woody fucking perfect though. Yeah, Woody's perfect, dude.
Yeah, Woody's really good.
They got his mannerisms right. They got his attitude right. Like,
actually, they got Ham and Rex. Really
those
good.
are definitely the voice actors.
Yeah, those are definitely
those are 100% the voice actors from the movie.
They're
Rex is hilarious, dude. I love the person. Dude, I love Rex. He's so funny. Yeah. So I think from the perspective of like the Disney side of it, I think they've done a good job in the worlds we've been in so far.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say Olympus, like, dude, I mentioned this to you. Phil's there, and
now
he doesn't.
Into the bad. So let's go.
It's gonna be mixed now. Okay. Like I can't keep avoiding it. Like so Phil's there, and he doesn't say a single word, and this obviously means they didn't get a voice actor for the character, and they just decided to put him there because he would be there. The thing is, they should have just not had him there at all, and because it's much more stark the fact that he doesn't say anything, because his character literally never shuts up. That's like Phil always talks. He always has something to say, no matter what. So the fact that he says nothing is really off-putting, really, really off-putting, and it's super obvious because like he comes off the Pegasus and he doesn't say anything, and then Hercules like he's like, okay, Meg, get back on Pegasus and like, you know, go in. And Phil's
even
like,
Meg had a voice actor.
Yeah, and then he's like, okay, Phil, just go with Meg. And like Phil just like grimaces at him and goes on the Pegasus.
Hopefully
like,
Phil talks more. We don't know yet. We're only 10 hours into the game.
Maybe he doesn't. I guarantee you he doesn't. He would have said something. Like, dude, it's just Phil. That's what Phil does. Like, he doesn't shut up.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
he wouldn't have been like...
It's weird because they even have him voice acted in... was it Birth by Sleep?
No, I don't think it was... Olympus wasn't in Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, it was. You go to Adventures and you meet Zach.
You're right. Never mind. You're correct.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot. You're right. You're 100% right. My bad. Yeah, so that's Stark. I think the voice acting is a little hit or miss depending on the world. It seems like so far. And I don't know. Okay. What else? Do you have any other good things you want to say?
The game is very flashy, and
is that a good thing?
That's part of a good thing. That's the only good part I'm going to say.
So okay, let's.
It's beautiful. The game's beautiful.
Let's go into the
beautiful
bad
game.
I'm sad, Montrell. I'm very sad. I am very sad because I didn't get hyped. I think like a lot of people did.
I didn't,
and you didn't either. But I did expect a little bit of a quality bump in this game.
You expected quality.
Yeah, exactly. I expected quality, right? 6 or 7 years of development, you know, tons of hype for this game. They've been hyping this game for a fucking year, and we're getting trailers every other week hyping this game up. And man, right now at this current moment, I don't like it.
I am with you. Right now at this current moment, I actually texted my girlfriend about it last night. We were talking on the phone. She was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't think I was like,
we're upset."
I was devastated that I'm not liking this game. Like, how you felt about Assassin's Creed, how you just like, I'm not feeling it. I played it for like 30 minutes yesterday. I put it down. I was like, I'm not feeling this game. It is a new game.
It's Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. It's not even a new game. This is Kingdom Hearts, dude.
Dude, it's the combat.
It is. I mean, it's 100%. You've been explaining this a lot, and I agree. I agree with you. It's just like I watched the video that you showed me that like put the side by side of the combat versus like older like Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
And man, it's slow. It's slow. But it's really slow.
It's not even that in this game for me. It's not even that it's slow. It's too much animation.
Yeah.
They have way too much going on.
Yeah, it's all style, no substance. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Exactly.
They went way more on the spectacle side of things. They wanted everything to look flashy. They give you all these flashy moves that you can do.
So and I do appreciate the flashiness.
I do too. It looks beautiful.
That's one part of it.
It looks beautiful. But when you've seen the animation for the 15th time in a row of the team attack, it's not that exciting anymore.
Yeah.
And I think they sacrificed the wrong things. Like the game's combat depth is just non-existent. Like I was telling you this all day today, is that when you jump, the game falls apart. The combat completely becomes unfun to me because you lose all control of Sora. Like you jump in the air and he's in the air for like 30 seconds when you jump, and if you start attacking things, good luck, dude, because you're magnetizing to things. Whatever he's soft locked on, or if you're hard locked onto something, he's magnetizing to it. He swings up, and then he's even higher in the air, and it takes even longer to hit the ground. And even when you hit the ground, you don't get control of him for like a full second or two. Like, it's insane. It's so slow. It's just it feels stilted, man.
So I would give the game some praise. I do feel like. And Dennis made this point to me yesterday.
Yeah,
I do feel like you every time you watch like the cinematic trailers of Kingdom Hearts and everything like that, or you watch the cutscenes and stuff, they're always running on walls and doing cool shit with their keyblades.
Yeah,
and now I actually feel like I'm doing that stuff.
Yeah,
I do feel like I'm a keyblade master. I just feel like now the game's entirely too easy now. I feel like with flow motion combined with everything else in the game.
Well, it's like they threw all the game's combat systems into a pot. It just made a stew out of them.
Yeah.
Because you have the forms from Birth by Sleep, and then you have the flow motion from Dream Drop Distance. You have the new thing, the attractions, which you have, and then you have team attacks from the older games.
Yeah.
And then you have powered up magic, which I think is a new thing too.
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah, where you get like more powerful versions of your spells if you use them enough.
Yeah, because usually you would just upgrade them over time.
Yeah. And you have all of those at your disposal from like right out of the gate. The second you get control of Sora and you start fighting things, you have all of those pretty much.
Yeah. So like a lot of people who are probably listening to this like, well, don't you guys want that? Don't you want to feel more powerful? Like, yeah, I want to feel like I'm fighting in the cinematics. I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'll even say to an extent, Birth by Sleep gave me that feeling where I was playing the game, but I was also playing.
Yeah.
It was also like a cinematic feel.
Yeah.
Like when I was playing against Sephiroth and I finally understood his combo thing and stuff I had to do, I felt like I was playing an actual cinematic scene, but in a gameplay style. Like it wasn't forced upon me. It was just like I had to learn the game. When I played against the silhouettes and things of that nature, I had to learn how to beat the silhouettes in Kingdom Hearts 2 critical mode or final remix.
Yep.
But this game, I'm playing on Proud mode because that's the hardest mode they have right now. I don't know if they're going to come out with other modes or not.
Too.
It's just not a challenge. The attractions, they don't have any type of balance to them.
Well, dude, they're also absurd because think about. Have we ever seen a character use those moves in a cinematic?
And they don't explain it at all.
And they're not explained. They're just thrown in there. Like, and you get access to these within an hour of beginning the game, and like a reticle will pop up on an enemy, and if you hit that enemy, you'll be able to use the attraction move. That is literally all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. There's no build up. There's no. All you have to do is hit the enemy once, and you get the attraction move. And all you do is hit triangle, and you've activated it. And these moves are insane. They're all encompassing. They're screen destroying. They one shot enemies and just annihilate things. You're basically invincible. You guys were telling me that you can get hit, but
get hit with them.
They're so powerful and so fast that if you're gonna get hit, it's gonna be once or twice. Yeah, you're not gonna die.
That's usually how much they hit you.
Yeah, it's like,
and it damages are reduced too.
And it's insane how powerful they are. And I've been avoiding them basically. But the thing is if you start to avoid them, that's where the cracks in the combat and the mechanics start to show. Because that's like I'm having to fight longer now since I'm not using the attractions. So I'm having to use more basic attacks and the forms and things like that. And those don't do as much damage, obviously. So I'm seeing more of the things of what I was talking about with the aerial attacks and stuff where Sora, you don't have good control over him. When I'm on the ground, I feel okay. The game feels fine. I think it feels...
it feels like, really good on the ground.
It does. And I'm really interested to fight some of the 1v1s or more like humanoid enemies.
If they even have those.
The humanoid... they will. But the humanoid bosses that are kind of like more... sword fights almost.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how those play because if they design them in a way where you don't have to go into the air, I think they'll be fun. But like going back to what you were talking about with prior games, like Birth by Sleep, the fights against like Vanitas and Xehanort later in the game, dude, those fights are awesome because you don't have to leave the ground in those, and the floatiness is in that game too that you're talking about. But it's you don't have
ramped up in this game. But
it is. Continue. But those fights against Vanitas, like you feel like you're having a Keyblade fight.
Yeah,
like you're fighting somebody else with a Keyblade, and it's like a 1v1. You don't have help generally, and your blocks actually block. Like they don't break your block or anything like that. And it felt. There was some skill. There was a lot of skill to it. It felt like
you had to learn the enemy.
The dodge rolls actually felt good and responsive too in that game. And I feel like the dodge roll in this game, like Sora, just like, oh my god, it's just like he just like stumbles into a roll, and it's like it doesn't feel good. Like it I don't know. It's weird, man. I'm upset. I'm really upset about it because it's like, dude, this is supposed to be the best game. This is the culmination of everything, right?
Yeah, this is a numbered game. Like usually the numbered games have the best combat per se. Like
yeah, they do. Two is widely considered the one with the best combat.
Yeah,
I like certain things about other games better. Like Birth by Sleep, I really like the deck system in that game because the reason is because it gives you some options that you don't normally have. You don't have to lock onto enemies and do combos into them. You can kind of just strafe around them and dodge them and then use your deck abilities to damage them.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into a combo. So I like that about that game. That's kind of gone now in this game. And I also like the deck system because it gave you physical attacks that aren't your regular combos.
Yeah.
Things like the surge attacks, like the dashing attacks,
and
then
strike,
like
raid,
Ars
like
Arcanum and stuff like that. The ones that are like huge combo attacks. Those were really cool, and that's kind of gone now in this game. Like the forms kind of give you that, I think, and the Keyblade modes or whatever.
Yeah.
That you get kind of give you some of that, but it's really not what I'm looking for.
I feel like
you don't have it on command is what I'm kind of saying, right?
Yeah, I feel like they just gave too much power or emphasis to the triangle.
They did. There's too much map to triangle.
Yeah.
Dude, the rides are annoying in another way because I was running around, like I finished the fight and I had a ride that was still active and I had like 30 seconds left on it and I was going to open a chest and I clicked triangle before it was ready, like it was like selecting the chest, and I went into a ride, and I'm not fighting anything, so I had to wait for the ride animation to end, which you can turn them off. Yeah. I know you can turn them off, but if I'm going to use it in a fight, I want to see the animation. So it's like a catch-22 there. It's like, so I had to go through the whole animation. It's just like annoying. Like once you're out of combat, they should just go away. Like you shouldn't have you should have the ability to activate them.
I mean, I agree with you. I just think like if I am going to get a ride, there should be some kind of repercussion behind it.
That too, yeah, that's true as well. Because there's literally no repercussion. Yeah, it's just free.
It's not balanced at all. And I'm surprised like a lot of other people aren't talking about that, how unbalanced the combat feels. I'm playing on Proud Mode. Like I told you yesterday on text message, I think it was either in the Toy Store world or the Tangled world, where I feel like it was so many enemies. That's another thing. They give you a lot of AoE attacks to compensate how many enemies they're throwing at you.
Yeah.
And I know Birth by Sleep had a lot of enemies on screen, but I just didn't feel like I was like playing a Dynasty Warriors game. I felt like I was still playing a Kingdom Hearts game. In this game, I feel like I'm playing like a Dynasty Warriors game because they give you so many AoE moves and there's so many enemies on the screen. That's not the issue I'm having because I'm plowing through them. That's the issue I'm having. I'm plowing through these enemies like I'm playing Dynasty Warriors. I'm playing a Mushu game. That's what they call it.
Well, the combat loses depth, right?
Yeah.
When you're killing everything in one hit, then it's like, I mean, what's the fun in that? You know, it's like you've turned on you've turned on a cheat code. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not a fun way to play to me. And I think the other thing with the just in general, like you have too much at your disposal. Too early in the game.
Yeah.
Like, there's no build-up for any of this stuff. You just get it immediately.
Yeah, if I had to build up to get the attractions or I had to unlock them or go out my way to find them.
Say they use your whole mana bar like the summons do or something like that. Some kind of cost. Because the way they are now, they're just like a free win button.
Hopefully they can patch that, but I think they have it implemented.
It's going to be too late, though. Yeah. By the time they patch it or listen to feedback and patch it, we'll have beaten the game already.
Which is funny, because after I played 5 hours of the game, then I started going back and looking at all the stuff. All the hype stuff, all the hype culture, and the Kingdom Hearts channels, and all this stuff like that. Yep. And they did invite people out to play the game early, like last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And people were like, they had to voice their concerns about the game. And I'm pretty sure I didn't see not one person using the attraction though. I think they snuck that in after everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure people voiced their concerns about this.
And they didn't listen.
To it.
Well, I think we had a warning sign with the 2.8 collection as well. The fragmentary passage thing with Aqua. You didn't play it, but I mean, it was basically this game's combat. It was literally, it is Kingdom Hearts 3 with Aqua, basically.
Wow.
And I like her style of combat better than Sora's. So I don't hate it as much, I think, as a lot of people probably. Like, as some of the videos I watched, like, They were bringing that up, is that you don't have a lot of options in that thing to defend yourself, which you don't. It's true, but I feel like I play her better than I play Sora, so I didn't mind it as much. But it's you didn't have the rides, but you had the power moves and the forms. You had that. There were no team attacks either because you didn't have a party. Okay. But so it was pretty basic from that perspective, but.
It looked pretty balanced from when I watched it. It
was fairly balanced. I think it was just that you didn't have a lot of defensive ability, because if you jumped in the air, your ability to defend yourself literally was blocking. Okay. The air dodge in Kingdom Hearts is trash because the animation's so long and you have no way to get out of it. That's the other thing, is you can't cancel any attack animations. Man. So you're stuck in combos, and then something hits you from behind and you're just like fuck, dude. And then the other thing is I feel like the rides and all these like triangle things that we're talking about, the forms, the rides, the team attacks, the power magic, all that stuff, I feel like this is all in the game to kind of mask how poor the mechanics are. Because if you use them all, you don't have to fight normally, really.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to swing your Keyblade, like, at all, really.
You don't.
And
it's kind of ridiculous.
And, yeah, I feel like it's all there to kind of mask how poor the mechanics are. Like, it's almost like, I almost feel like they might have realized it, but...
See, and I don't want to be, like, labeled... I feel like when people listen to this podcast, like, oh, you're just one of those Kingdom Hearts 2 fanboys. I'm like, no.
No, we're fanboys of good gameplay.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
Like how you mentioned earlier... in the video as well, you can cancel out of certain attacks in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to finish it. And the reason why they put the finishers there was like a risk versus reward thing. You got your whole combo off, you got this flashy ending. Yeah. But if you didn't get off at the right time, your combo finisher was exceptionally long because it was meant to punish you. Like, okay, I can't just do combo finisher all the time.
They were super powerful, but also those combo finishers a lot of the time protected you because they were full AoEs around your entire character.
Yeah.
So they protected you from attacks from behind and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. So I mean, from a gameplay standpoint, the game is really disappointing from that regard. But in terms of the story's another issue that. It's just bad so far, man. Like nothing's happening.
Yeah, why are we going through this? Why do I have to? Why are another 7? And this is the spoilers part. Once again, I'll give you another disclaimer. Why do we have to wait for 7 more hearts to be unlocked?
Well, dude, so Yeah, because you told me that happens in the Tangled world, that they reveal that, like, what was it, Xehanort found seven more hearts?
Young Xehanort, right?
He found, like, 7 more hearts or something?
Yeah, and one of the princesses will...
and this is why you go to those worlds?
Yeah. Rapunzel was one of those princesses that have a heart that she doesn't really know about, but she has the heart of light in her.
Heart of light, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, like, the first worlds that I've gone to, Olympus, Twilight Town, and Toy Box, which is Toy Story, nothing happens. Like, Sora goes, and he's like...
He's going off a hunch. Like, he doesn't even know...
I don't even understand, because, dude, he's sitting in the ship. He's sitting in the ship with Donald and Goofy, and Donald and Goofy are like, "Hey, where are we going, Sora?" And Sora's like, "I don't know. Yeah. We'll figure it out. These things happen. These things figure themselves out." Yeah. And then he's just like, all of a sudden has an epiphany, and then he just points his Keyblade at the cockpit window and opens a wormhole through space-time, like, and then all of a sudden they're at the world you're supposed to go to. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, and this never happened with the older games. The older games always gave the character themselves, not the player. I mean, the player obviously is you, but the character themselves always knew what they had to do.
Yeah.
Like, in Kingdom Hearts 2, I think you had to unlock the worlds, then go back and lock them again, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Because, reasons or whatever. But in this world, or in this game, it's like...
I don't even know why you go to the Toy Story world.
I don't even know why you go to... Yeah, they don't explain that. They don't even tell you why you go to this world.
Sora's just flying through space like, yeah, we're going to go to
so
worlds.
happy to get to this world, and you just so happen to see the Heartless there. Like, that's what it is. Yeah. And, but that's another thing. So if I didn't come to this world, like
Heartless would just be there.
Yeah, like Buzz.
The world would just be split in half.
Exactly.
Which isn't. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, like I don't want to go like too. Like so let's stick on one point here.
But
like,
so I think the main, like I said earlier today, the main issue I had was I thought we didn't hype ourselves up for the game. We didn't know the story or anything. But just going off Birth by Sleep, I thought there was going to be a real sense of urgency.
Me too.
Like, we need to get our shit together.
There's no sense of urgency.
There's none.
Like, Xehanort, like I told you earlier, Xehanort's just chilling in his castle like, hey, man, waiting for them to get their 7 lights to fight my 13 darknesses. I'm just going to sit here until they do that.
And I understand he needs that battle to happen to make the key.
Such a bullshit cop-out, though. Like,
but, okay, but they can... But the thing is, what if he gets impatient where he's like, okay, I'm about to start making these 7 hearts like come out of the darkness.
Yeah.
So I'm about to start attacking these worlds and making Sora come here so he can do what he needs to do to get these 7 hearts so I can do it. That's what I'm talking about, the sense of urgency. Because, bro, he's been waiting for at least 20, 30 plus years to do this.
More than that, I think.
Yeah, more than that. And it's like no sense of urgency. I understand like he's a patient guy, but I wanted to come back, maybe revisit some old worlds that are like, oh, Sora, we're getting attacked again, and like they're taking shit down now. Like, that's not happening.
Like,
everyone's
there's like
just
a full all-out war. Like I wanted it to be more like Mass Effect 3, where like Xehanort is the Reapers and he's coming to destroy the universe. Man, that's
what I thought.
You know,
that's
it's like and yeah, there's like no urgency whatsoever. Sora's just like he feels like he has no drive. He's got no motivation. He doesn't even know what he wants to do. He doesn't know how to do it. He's just like, I'm gonna save Roxas, and then Ansem and fucking Xemnas are like, how are you gonna save Roxas? You need a vessel for him, and he's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna save him. Like, bro,
there's no sense of urgency.
I am so sick of Sora. I'm no, seriously, I'm tired of him. He is ruining the series. Like, I'm done with this character. I really hope when this game is over and they make more Kingdom Hearts games, they put him in a fucking closet and they never take him out, because I'm sick and tired of him. Like, he's just happy-go-lucky. He doesn't know how to do anything. He just falls into the solution. Other people figure it out for him, and then he's just there and he gets all the credit. Like, he did everything. He's fucking useless. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, everyone around him is starting to tell him that he doesn't know what he's doing, and he doesn't seem to care that he doesn't know what he's doing. And Riku and Mickey are actually like doing shit and getting shit done. This game should have been about Riku. This game should not have been about Sora. Like they should have just made the hard choice and just like made Sora the side character of this game, because he is fucking ruining the story for me. I can't. He's annoying. I'm sick of him. Like, I really am tired of him.
Like I said, we are 10 hours into it, but I do understand where you're coming from. Because, like I said, with Dream Drop Distance, you left the mark exam Like, Sora's, like, bummed out that he didn't pass. But he has a sense of urgency because they're like, even in that game, they're like, you need to hurry up and do this so we can do this because Xehanort is coming for us. Like, it's about to be some shit, and you need to learn how to control your dark side.
Yeah, you need the power of waking, which is what they keep talking about in this game.
Yeah, you need to... And throughout that game, they try to teach him, hey... This is why you didn't pass, because you relied on others too much. Yep. So it seemed like the lessons he learned in that game just went out the fucking window.
Yeah,
because
he seems like he doesn't care.
He's just relying on his friends again. Yep. Whereas Riku, he's went through the darkness. He's been alone his whole life, the whole series, and he's like, oh, I know how to get out of certain situations myself. Yep. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. You're not going to take control of me. I'm not going to fall into this bullshit because I went through it before already.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. It just seemed like Sora. He is happy-go-lucky, and I expect that from his character.
That's fine as a character trait.
As a character trait, but it doesn't need to be his only character trait.
No, and he's just not decisive. And when that's your protagonist, and it's at the beginning of a game like this, it's just like, at the beginning of a different game, like Kingdom Hearts 1, right? If that character's
not understandable.
That's fine. Like, you have no idea what's going on.
You knew what was going on in
you have this Keyblade, and all these monsters are around you, and your world got fucking destroyed. I can understand that you're a little indecisive, and you're confused, and you're fucking scared, right? But, like, you're like, quote-unquote, the hero. You're the one that everyone looks to, and it's like, that's like falling away from him, though. Everybody looks to Riku now. That's like the thing, is like everyone's looking to Riku,
so
dude.
What they should have done within the first 5 hours of the game, when you went to Mount Olympus, that world gets fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
You couldn't save it.
Yeah.
And you're bummed out. That would have been a better, like...
Yeah. No, and that's your point about the sense of urgency, right? Is that, who was in that world? Who was the villain in that world? It was Hades, right? Forget about Hades. Say it was like young Xehanort was there and he actually destroyed the world, right? And forget about Hades. Or maybe Hades was in it with him. I don't know. Whatever.
They turn the world into complete darkness. Like, they can't save that world until, like, later on in the game.
Until later when he has the power of waking or whatever and he figures it out, right? And that would have been a great way to start because it shows there are stakes. Right now it feels like there's no stakes. Yeah. Like, dude, Olympus is like, I feel like it's like a Disney cartoon. Like, that's literally what it feels like. I mean, I know that's ironic to say because it's a game with Disney characters in it, but like Kingdom Hearts has always had an undertone of urgency to it, and like it feels like of course they were gonna beat Hades. Like, what did you expect otherwise? I don't even know what the stakes were in Twilight Town. There weren't any, I feel like. And the stakes,
that's just like your hub now,
dude. Literally what it is. Yeah. And the stakes in Toy Box, like. I mean, the world got split in two. How do you even do that? Like, how is that a thing that they're capable of?
So, yeah, and that's another thing. He's capable of splitting. Like, it's a lot of inconsistencies because he's capable of splitting worlds. Bro, why not just destroy it? Like, if you can split it, just destroy it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, teach Sora a lesson, right? They're trying to turn him towards the darkness. So that's what their plan seems to be, is they want to turn him toward the darkness. That's what Xemnas and... fucking Ansem were talking about, right? And like, what better way is there to turn him to the darkness than to break his spirit by destroying a world that he can't save?
Yes.
Like, why are you even playing these games with him? Like, it's so stupid. It's like circular where I don't know.
Like, they have, and now the nobodies in the darkness are fighting with each other now.
Yep.
They're not fighting against each other.
Yep.
So
that's the other thing is. Why are I can understand Ansem and Xemnas being on Xehanort's side,
the real organization there.
Oh my god! But why are characters? Why would Marluxia be on their side? Like, I don't know. Is he because he's in the Tangled world, right?
Yeah.
Is he showing? Does he like show his allegiance?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's like they. Once you play the world, you'll understand. It's like both of them are kind of hinting towards something, but you don't really know. Like, you don't know what Marluxia's motivation is. But the other guy, I forgot the other guy with the guns that you fight in Kingdom Hearts 2.
The Zigbar with the purple hair or whatever.
He's like clearly with them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always been with them, though.
Yeah, it's clearly but there are some undertones, like there's like an underground war going on between the dark side, between both sides of them. Yeah. But I can't really tell yet. But that would be a hell of a lot interesting than what the fuck is going on now.
Dude, we're like 10 or 15 hours into the game. I'm always somebody who will defend a game that takes a while to get going.
Oh yeah.
This is not that game though, because this is the 10th game in a series that is a ongoing story. You don't get 15 hours for your game to get started. Like,
it's crazy they didn't do it in Kingdom Hearts 2.
I know, that's the thing. Everybody's mad about Kingdom Hearts 2 because it took 3 hours to get through Roxas' story. It's way worse. It feels way worse in this game. Like, I don't think it's not of the magnitude of Kingdom Hearts 2, because Kingdom Hearts 2 was like blindsiding the player with a character that nobody knew who he was, really, and like making you play through a portion of the game with a character you didn't know who he was, and you didn't know any of these other characters either. But it's dragged on so long at this point in Kingdom Hearts 3 that I'm starting to feel like it's worse. Because how long does this go? Is this do you go through every world in the game before the story picks up? Because that's what it's starting to feel like.
Yeah, I take Roxas's area, right? Because the game really picks up on Kingdom Hearts 2 when you unlock Sora. The
second you get him.
Yeah, everything's urgent as hell. Like, everybody's
immediately,
you need to do this.
Mickey shows up and is like, hey, God, you're awake? Yes, go save the world. It's like...
And, like, in this game, you leave Master Zen... What's his name? Sid Yin? Sid Yin.
Yin Sid.
Yinsen.
Sid.
Yin Sid. You leave his house, and everyone's like, okay, Sora, so what you want to do? And it's like...
Sora's like, I don't know.
And then, like, I know we're like, bashing Sora, but, like, another thing is...
They tried to develop the character, and they're not doing anything with the development.
And, like, Mickey and Riku, they're in the fucking darkness... And their fucking keyblades break. And there's just, like, no sense of urgency to get fucking Aqua out of the darkness, man.
So that happens, right? Yeah, so you play as Riku for a brief, like, 20-minute period, and you fight one battle in the Dark Realm. And his and Mickey's keyblades break, which is a thing that has never ever happened before, as far as we know. Because generally speaking, if your Keyblade does break, it just disappears and it comes back in its hole again, right?
Yeah.
Why is this a thing that can happen now? And then they decide to leave the Dark World because of this. After one battle, how is Aqua's Keyblade not broken after 15 fucking years in the Dark World? And it happens in like 5 hours for them? Like, what the fuck? And then they come out and they're just like, yeah, you're right. Even they don't have urgency. They're like, yeah, go see Merlin. He'll figure it out for you. And they're like, okay, we'll go deliver these clothes for you to Kyrie and Axel. Like,
yeah, it's just parts that's coming back to me now. Then they find out certain information on Rapunzel's world, and they're like, oh, we gotta tell Mickey and Riku about this. But they don't have a sense of urgency because Mickey caused them. And they're like, oh, yeah, we gotta tell you this stuff that just happened. And they're like, everyone's like, oh, okay, but what about this other thing over here?
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on in this game? I'm like, Is Xehanort and Xemnas just not a threat anymore? Like, we're just too powerful. Fuck those guys. Like, we don't even care about them.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, man.
Ansem and Xemnas, they just seem like lackeys now. Yeah. What the fuck?
Like, when I see them on screen, I don't get scared.
Like, they're supposed to be mega villains, though. What the hell? I'm with you. I'm with you with it, dude. Like it's just the way they're doing this is so strange.
Yeah, like when I played the other games, like for instance, Xehanort, old Xehanort, fucking crushes Vanitas or Ventus. He just crushes him and
he freezes him, crushes his head, and throws him off a cliff to break, like to shatter. Yeah. He was trying to shatter him. He's literally trying to kill him.
That showed you how powerful that character was. And every time he came on screen, I was like,
dude, I was terrified. Yeah. I'm like, oh Jesus, is he gonna kill somebody? Like, dude, like he was a villain that didn't give a fuck. He killed people. He literally killed. He tricked Terra into killing his master. Like, this dude is ruthless as shit. And where is that in this game? He's just not even here. Like, that's what's frustrating is that dude,
even the younger ones, like when you fought them, even when you fought them in physical battles, like after you fought them, you had like a whole bunch of respect from like, man, this motherfucker's fucking hard as shit.
Legit. And young Xehanort too. I gotta give a little bit more leeway with young Xehanort because he's much more focused on the mind. It feels like than it is with like actually attacking people. Like he really wants to fuck with Sora. That seems to be his whole thing.
Yeah,
and he does a really good job of it. Actually, Sora is just completely mind boggled by this dude. Like it's hilarious. But yeah, like dude, Xehanort in Birth by Sleep was just a terrifying villain. You felt like there was no way in hell that the characters were going to be able to beat him.
Yeah,
and they didn't beat him. Like they quote unquote they consider, like, for some reason Mickey considers what Aqua did at the end of the game like a win, like that she beat Xehanort. No, she lost. She's in the Dark Realm. Terra's body is there, but he's taken over by Xehanort. So I don't call that a win, Mickey. Like, sorry, brah.
We still don't know where Ventus is at. Like,
yeah, and we don't even know where Ventus is. So no, they didn't win anything. Like that. Their perception of things seems warped in that sense too. So he was just a really powerful villain, and I appreciated that, and it's kind of annoying that it's not here right now.
It's like, I understand the series was made for kids and it's a Disney game, but it's like they're scared to say we lost.
Yeah,
it's like throughout the whole series, that's been a thing. Like, oh, we tried.
Yeah. We did our best.
Yeah, we did this. Yeah. Like, no, you lost, guys. Like, now we need to regroup. We need to come back with that fire.
Yeah, like, we need to develop some tactics. Yeah. Like, actually have a strategy here to fight. Yeah. And just the other thing too is that like, I just think that Sora's, I don't know, his lack of urgency should be biting him in the ass. You know,
it should
be, but it feels like it's not going to.
I feel like right now he has no real reason besides that exam to feel down. But even if you were a player just coming into this game, you wouldn't feel urgent. Like, I feel like I said, they should have destroyed the world, and then I as a player will understand why Sora's motivation is lacking, because he's like, I can't do shit. Like, I just saw her.
I'm weak.
It
push him towards the darkness, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that would be a really interesting character arc for him. The way that it's happening, there is no interesting character arc. Nothing's happening. He's just having fun times with Donald and Goofy and all the friends he meets in all these worlds. It's just like it's literally like a kid's. It feels like a kid's show. Yeah. And I understand that it's supposed to be appealing to kids. However, all of us that got on board with this franchise, guess what? We're fucking adults now.
I didn't see not one kid. I did not see one adult under 18 buying this game.
100%. No, exactly. And it's irritating that they're trying to appeal to a young demographic. I get Disney is for younger people, but that's not what this series is anymore. Like, we're all adults. All of us who are fans of this franchise, for the most part, are adults. Like we're over 18 probably. That's how long this franchise has been around for. And I think going forward, I think they really need to reevaluate the structure of these games. Is that it's starting to feel like a crutch that we go to 10 Disney Worlds every game. Like, maybe we don't need that. Maybe we only need to go to 3, and a lot of shit happens in those 3. You know, instead of spending like 2 hours in each world, we spend like fucking 10 hours.
I think they need to get a new writer,
and they need to get a new writer. And because I was telling you earlier too, like, wouldn't it have been cool if this was a Riku game and we spent the first like 10 hours of the game with Riku and Mickey in the Dark World, with them struggling to find Aqua.
Yeah,
and we can have you don't even sniff a Disney World for 10 hours, and it's like it's really dark. They're like having their minds are getting fucked with, and it's like really psychological. Wouldn't that have been really cool?
Yeah,
you know, but we're not getting any of that. You know, it's like it's just.
Or, I mean, even if you wanted to include the worlds, you can include dark versions of those worlds. Like, say
maybe you could do that. Yeah,
say like
cool.
They go into one portion, him and Mickey and Riku get separated, and Mickey walks through these doors and he sees like the Disney castle destroyed, and Minnie is like on the verge of fucking death. And it's not actually them, but it's just fucking with his head.
It's fucking with their mind, like I'm talking about, because they did that in the fragmentary passage thing with Aqua. Yeah. They built environments that were the worlds she had been to, the Disney worlds she had been to. Yeah. And the game was fucking with her. Like, it was showing her, it wasn't showing her like Disney characters, but it was showing her like people that she had met. Yeah. Like Terror or something like that. So I don't know. I think they could have approached this a lot differently. It's just my point. It's like Riku's a way more interesting character to me at this point than Sora is. Like, Riku and Mickey's relationship as like buddy cops is like it's awesome, dude. I want more of it. They're partners. Like, they trust each other so much. It's awesome to see. Their like friendship is great.
And we hardly saw it.
And we barely see it. We barely get to see it. and all we see is Sora stumbling through with Donald yelling at him and Goofy being like, "Oh, Sora, oh, you gotta stab the Heartless where their heart was," or what? Like, come on,
Goofy's
dude.
the smartest one out the whole crew,
which is pathetic. Come on, man. I don't know. It's Kingdom Hearts 3, dude. It's here. The post Kingdom Hearts 3 world is a sad place to me. I'm upset about it.
I mean, the last thing I'm going to say, I'm just really upset that people aren't seeing this flaw. Like, I feel like it's a really false flag.
We're stuck in the hype train still.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, a lot of other people, like Jim Sterling, he did bring it up, but I didn't watch the whole review because I didn't want to spoil it for myself. But, like, he does bring it up.
That seems to be his shtick, though.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't really trust it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's always the negative opinion.
Yeah, he's always like the really, really negative, cynical guy. And I didn't read any of the reviews, but it seemed like just the common consensus of the game is just that, hey, like, this game's really good, guys. Like, it's a Kingdom Hearts game. It's here.
Yeah.
Are you finally glad that it's here? Like, everyone keeps saying that, and I'm like, I'm glad that it's here. But, guys, the story sucks.
We should expect more.
We deserve more.
We do deserve more. Actually, this is a one instance where I will say that we actually deserve more because we've waited a long time. We've invested a lot of time in this series. We've invested a lot of money in this series over multiple different platforms that have no relation to one another whatsoever.
Exactly.
3DS, PSP, PS2, PS3, PS4, 3DS,
your cell phones,
browsers, all of those. And yeah, I think it's just this is just a sad realization for me, is that this series has got a cap to how good it can be. I think that's what this is, because
I just didn't think it was going to be this game. I thought it was going to be a game after this.
Well,
I knew they were going to release more games. I know they're going to release more games.
Because, dude, at this point in time right now, like, I like Birth by Sleep way more than this game. I like Dream Drop Distance way more than this game. I like Kingdom Hearts 2 more than this game.
100%, I agree with you.
I even like Kingdom Hearts 1 better than this game.
I do too.
Because the story's way better, you know? And I think...
I've been seeing people put up their list, though. People have put Kingdom Hearts 3 above all of these.
It's just insanity.
They're like, Kingdom Hearts 3. They're like, okay, here's my list, guys. Kingdom Hearts 3, Birth by Sleep, Recoded, blah, 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 blah.
To be fair, we're not done with the game. Yeah. So maybe it does get a lot better. But
I just can't see it getting more
every
difficult.
hour that it doesn't get better is worse and worse and worse. Like, you can't go 25 hours with the game being shit, and then it becomes good all of a sudden. You know, it's just...
And I was praising the fuck out this game when I first played it for like the first hour.
I know, dude. I remember when you came in, because I already had this like dour opinion of the game, and you after your first night were like kind of like praiseworthy of it. It's funny to see you. It's funny to see your changes over the course of the week, because you got more and more negative the more you played, which is sad though, man. I don't want to be negative.
I didn't want to, man. I was so bummed out yesterday, man. Like.
Me too, man.
If my girlfriend was on the podcast, she would have told you, like, I was like sad. I'm like, she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't think I like this game. Like, I was so upset.
That's what you said yesterday. Yeah. You came into work and you were like, hey man, did you play more Kingdom Hearts? And you were like, man, I think it's bad. Like, I mean, you know, obviously we're being hyperbolic in our personal conversations, but it's like it's where I'm vacillating though. I'm vacillating between I think this is a bad game to this game's end to, like, you know, maybe it gets better.
It's definitely not okay. So I'll put it in perspective like this: it's definitely not a bad game outside of the Kingdom Hearts franchise. As a Kingdom Hearts is a game standing alone by itself, it's a decent 6.
Yeah. Okay, with a 5 being average.
Yeah, with the 5 being average, it's a decent 6. Now, if we're talking about in terms of Kingdom Hearts, it's definitely like a series as a whole. It's definitely like a 3 right now. I agree. The first 10 hours right now,
dude. Birth by Sleep is like vastly superior to this game to me. 2, as much as I hate the beginning of it, like, is vastly superior to this game.
Yeah.
Like, the combat feels so much better in that game. Like, when I think about it, and like when I started watching videos again, I was like, damn, wow, I do remember. Sora's controls so tightly in that game. Like, like, dude, you have such good control of him in that game. And Story-wise, Birth by Sleep is like way better. Dream Drop Distance is a good combination of the two. Yeah, I feel like
Dream Drop Distance is like the pinnacle of like combining the old style of Kingdom Hearts 2 and like Birth by Sleep, and then adding that flow motion onto it.
Yeah,
because like the video is kind of over exaggerated. I never really felt like I was overpowered with flow motion. I felt like I had...
No, not at all. Yeah, that's absurd. Actually, I think that game was really well balanced.
It was.
It was really well balanced.
Because if you ran out of like your deck system, you did have to rely on your flow motion.
100%.
But your flow motion wasn't overpowered to where you're one-shotting enemies.
And it gave you such good mobility that you didn't have to worry about dodging. Like, because you could use the wall jump as like a way to get out of combat. Or something like that. That's how I would fight. So I don't know. I don't want to like. I think we should probably stop here for now, and because we're gonna keep talking about this game. Like obviously we're gonna keep playing it, or at least I will. I don't know where Montrell's at. Earlier today he was saying he wasn't gonna play it anymore. That's how upset he was. I think he is going to play it more, but we'll have more thoughts going forward with this. I think this is gonna be a topic of the week when we're done. Probably we're probably gonna do a full review of this game. Like not like I don't know if we're gonna put scores on it, but
I'm not gonna put a score on it.
We're going to do a full review discussion. It'll probably be full spoilers because I just don't feel like I can talk about the game fully without spoilers. But, so that's kind of our thoughts so far. That's going to be it for the episode this week. If you want to interact with us on Twitter, Montrell is iTrap4 the Hokage. That is the number 4, not the word. I am at ThunderNut01 on Twitter, and then our combined Twitter for the podcast is at The Players Take. If you want to ask us any questions, you can do that at theplayerstake01@gmail.com. If you ask us a question, we will answer it. Even if you hate our opinions on Kingdom Hearts 3, we'll still answer your question.
Yes, we will.
100%. So please ask us a question. If you've listened this far, we really appreciate you. We post on Tuesdays at 6 a.m. Central Time, and that's going to be every week. So next week, we will be talking about Anthem, probably more Kingdom Hearts, and whatever else happens throughout the week.
Yep.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. All right? Bye, guys.
Bye.